All right, welcome to Astronomy Madness 2020. This is actually the 13th year for Astronomy Madness tournament, which is co-hosted by myself and my colleague, Mr. Damian Brandis. And friends, we need this tournament more than ever because with the lockdown, with the quarantine, we need reasons to believe, we need reasons to keep ourselves going day to day. And Astronomy Madness, everybody, is that reason. So what I want to do for this first short video is just a little primer, just tell you about the tournament, tell you about the breakdown. We have an unprecedented 165 people playing, 165 online tournament entrants. And we're going to go through some of the big predictions that are out there, who is likely to be standing at the end, who's probably going to go bust early, and just give you a general overview for those of you that don't know about Astronomy Madness. I think you'll really enjoy it. So let's go ahead and get started. So real quick run through on the directions here. How we have done this since the very beginning, way back in 2008, is it's all about mathematics and statistics. So we are basically going to put a number of chips in a hat representing the different seed numbers, but it's basically reversed. So in a 5 versus 12 matchup, for any of you who know about the NCAA tournament, the 5 seed is definitely the stronger seed. So it's going to get 12 chips in the hat. The 12 seed, the underdog, is going to get 5 chips. So the 12 seed should have a 12 out of 17 chance at winning. It's favored. And then the 12 seed is going to have a 5 out of 17 chance, since that's the underdog. So you can still have some upsets, but it gets a lot more complex than that. We have tournament-wide bonuses. We have research bonuses in each region, and you don't need to know the research bonuses, but for those of you who take the time to look it up, might just give you an edge up on the competition. From the hard work of my colleague, Mr. Brandis, everything for the last 5 years has now been online. Just check out tinyurl.com/Astronomy Madness 2020 to follow along. Bracket scoring is pretty standard with the NCAA tournament. And here is the big bonus for students who play, especially this marking period, since we're doing much, much lower point totals. The overall student winner, everybody who's playing already is secured a 10 out of 10. The overall winner is going to get 20 extra credit points, runner-up 15, third place 10, and on and on and on. So let's take a quick look at the actual bracket. I'll show you the big bracket back behind me in just a little bit. I always have some help from my friends and colleagues at making up the different regions. And for many, many years now, every region has its own theme. So this year, I made up the region taking place in Johns Hopkins, Maryland. This is observatories of the world, and some of them even orbiting up above the world. And so then my friends, Mr. Geis and Mr. Cease, helped me out with the Troy, Turkey region, a little bit of a historical slant. This is going to be famous warriors and commanders. Then next up, co-chair Mr. Damian Brandis came up with the region out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's going to be delicious condiments. And then finally, we needed a biology expert. So we called on the services of Mrs. Kelly Stoudenauer. She created the CDC Atlanta region. This is going to be viruses and bacteria. So we've got 4 regions, 16 teams per region. For those of you not familiar with the NCAA tournament, they're always seeded from 1 to 16. So 1 is the strongest seed, and then 16 is the weakest. So let's go ahead, let's journey over to our big bracket, and let's just kind of take a look at some of the research bonuses. For those of you students who joined Google Classroom, I was secretly dropping bonuses all week there for the Astronomy Madness page, so you can just read them right off there. But let's take a journey over to the big bracket and see what's going down. All right. So over here, oh my gosh, I just realized the text is totally reversed. All right, I'll just take you through it then. So in the observatory telescope region, we've got, you know what? I'm going to save these research bonuses until the first round. It's going to be a lot easier to show it then. So let's just go ahead before we end this little preview, and let's take a look at some of the predictions that have been made so far. I'm going to give some shout outs to some people who are playing along here. So I call this the Astronomy Madness 2020 Playa Index. So traditionally, I believe the highest seed, or rather the lowest seed we've ever had win this thing, was a 6 seed. Usually it's always a 1 through a 5 seed. Usually 1 through a 3 seed that actually wins it. But we have a number of people here. They've made some pretty gutsy picks here. We have a number of students that have taken double-digit seed champions from a 10 seed up to a 13 seed. Then we've got some students really gambling, taking 13 or 14 seeds to win it all. And the crazy thing, let's just say this would actually go down here. Just imagine if you picked Nutella to win this thing, but then 7 other people also took Nutella with you. And just keep in mind, as a 14 seed in the opening round, it's going to be going up against a 3 seed. So right off the bat, it's only going to have a 3 out of 17 chance at actually pulling an upset, just getting to round 2. Now, if this tournament was all about what's the most delicious, obviously Nutella's going to win that all. But as a 14 seed, that's a pretty long shot. Then we have some students that basically went all in. I'm not sure if they didn't totally understand the directions and they thought that the lower seed numbers were actually the stronger seeds, or whether they just straight up went for this. But we have a few students that have taken 15 and 16 seeds to win it all. Totally gutsy, would be totally legendary if it actually happened. But sadly, most of these students might just lose their champion in the opening round. Huge shout out though to the Mountain Lion Observatory. A lot of you picked it. I love that. I was just there last night with my friend Tom. It's been absolutely awesome, but it's going to have a tough shot in the opening round against 1 seed Hubble Space Telescope. So I really like looking at statistics. I like crunching the numbers, and I think we've got some underrated power champion picks. So in a field of 165 participants here, you end up having a lot of people picking the same teams to win it all. But there's a few teams that were just as powerful as the others, but a lot of people didn't take them. And a lot of times, especially in a tournament this large, this is what's actually going to be the key, is picking a team that nobody else picks. And if that team takes it, then you win it all. So looking at the 1 seeds, it's actually a weaker field of 1 seeds this year, because if you dabble in the research bonuses, 3 of the 4 of them are actually losing a chip due to the research bonus. Despite that, we had an unprecedented 27 of you pick the plague or the Black Death, the 1 seed out of the virus bacteria region, to win it all. Ironically, the only 1 seed that's not losing a chip here is George Washington, G-Dub himself, #1 Prez. Only 8 of you took him. So if you took George Washington as a 1 seed, that could be a really strong undervalued pick. For the 2 seeds, what's interesting is with our rules in Astronomy Madness, after the first round, 2 seeds are basically just as strong as a 1 seed, because any team playing a 1 seed gets 1 bonus chip. So if a 2 seed eventually meets a 1 seed in the Elite 8, it's going to be straight up even odds. And so here, out of the observatory region, the Keck telescopes out of Mauna Kea, Hawaii, only 2 of us, myself included, actually picked Keck to win it all. That could be a really good pick. 3 seeds we can't overlook. They've actually won it all a couple years. Now, Jif Peanut Butter, a lot of people, including my buddy Mr. Brandis, went all in on Jif. They took it the whole way. But Vlad the Impaler, Typhoid Fever, only 2 of you took it. And then this is crazy. Out of 165 people, despite 3 seeds being pretty strong, not a single one of you took the very large array, the series of 27 radio telescopes out on the plains of New Mexico. So if somebody had taken it, that might have been a really good pick. So I do have a couple sneaky smart picks to highlight here. Gonna highlight Mr. Rupica, and then students Taya, Corey, and Elena. They all took 4 seeds, but each of these 4 seeds actually is getting a chip with the research bonus. So they're all playing like 3 seeds. So we could see smallpox out of the virus and vaccine region, and we could see mayonnaise out of the condiments region make a really, really big run. Do have a couple really unique picks. What I did is I took some time to actually look through all the entries. Did anybody pick a champion that nobody else picked at all? And we did find a couple people here. had one of our alums, Justin B., actually took the Mongol warlord Genghis Khan out of the Warriors and Commanders region. Genghis is a 5 seed, but he's actually going to be saddled even more. He's losing 2 chips to a research bonus, so he's going to be playing like a 7. And then this year, everybody, 2020, we are in the presence of Astronomy Madness royalty. There's only been one student in history, Cassie S., that has won the tournament not once, but twice, which is really impressive because as an Altoona High student, you only get to play 3 years tops. She's now back as an adult and alumni to try to win for an unprecedented 3rd time, but she's taken a pretty edgy pick here. She's taken Sun Tzu out of the Warriors and Commanders region, and Sun Tzu's way down at an 8 seed. So he's going to have an 8-9 slight chip advantage to win round 1, but it's only about a 50-50 shot. And if he wins that, he's likely up against 1-seeded George Washington in round 2. But I'm not going to doubt Cassie at this point. She seems to know what's up. And then finally, we've got Ben B taking the Yerkes Observatory, largest refracting telescope on Earth, 40-inch diameter, is a 5 seed to win it all. So want to give some shout outs to some alumni here. And since they're all adults, I think I can use their full name. This is an absolutely loaded field. We've got a number of my friends coming back that have won this different times as students. In fact, we've got the 2018 student champ, Mr. Avery McGinnis, and last year's defending champ, Mr. Chase Howman, back to try to restore the glory and keep this thing going as adults. And so we got a number of names off here, some of my favorite students from all time. We got Mike Treese right there, my man. Rumor is he's lost the step speed-wise. I don't know. It's just what I'm hearing. We'll see if he's got the speed here in the tournament. So we got a number of great alumni on here. Thank you all for coming back to play in the tournament. Finally, we do have a special teacher trophy. It's called the Stud Horse Trophy we've had for a lot of years. And this year, we've got 9 teachers playing, including out of the Key West division, our very own Mrs. Amy Vinglish. And we have last year's teacher champion, Miss Chrissy Falger, back as well. So we got a whole lot on the line here. So that just about does it for our tournament primer. Next time when we're back, I'm going to have my daughters helping me out, and we're going to actually start picking the first round live. And I hope that you will tune in all tournament long to Astronomy Madness. Peace.